Hey guys, my name is Pete. I'm with Garnet Technologies. I get to do something today that I've been really wanting to do for a long time now, and that is shoot some little tutorial videos showing you how to use the 817 programmer. Today's video is just one of several that will give you a really good understanding of how best to use this tool. With this lesson today, we're going to talk about just a basic overview of the programmer itself, what all this stuff means, what the buttons do. That's going to really help you out later on when we start detailing out how to store alarms and set offsets and things like that. The 817 programmer is a great diagnostic tool as well. So it does a lot of things, and there's a whole lot of information that goes into it. But today, like I said, we're just going to do a basic overview of what the functions are of each button and what everything means. So let's get started. We're going to start with this ribbon cable. This is how we take a calibration to and from a display. So this will plug into the back of the display, and at that point we can copy or program a calibration into a display or take it from a display. Also at the top here we'll see the optic ins and outs. The white is the optic transmitter, which is transmitting the red flashing light just like an 810X cinder bar. I don't know if you can see it there. The black fitting is the optic receiver, just like a display. It's going to receive the flash of light, receive the signal. With these two options here, we can use the programmer to simulate a bar or simulate a display. Great for diagnosing issues. And then when we get down to the little LCD screen here, we'll see some different labels. We're going to start with the number of bits. When you have the fiber from a cinder bar plugged into the black fitting up here at the top, a bit number will pop up. Most of the time, 99% of the time, that bit number is going to be 8 bits. The bits are the amount of information that is transmitted. Another number that's going to pop up is your optic power. That is the signal strength coming through the fiber optic cable itself, being transmitted by the bar. So these two numbers will show up when a fiber from the bar is plugged into the black fitting there. We do have cinder bars that transmit in 11 bits, but those are special order bars, typically used for the 809 DM systems. 8 bits is what you're going to see over here, what you want to see, and the optic power number can range from 0 to 166, 166 being the max. We want to see this number be above 100. That's an acceptable number there. If it's below 100, then we can diagnose further and take steps to find out why our signal strength is so low. This inch mode here, we are going to operate most of the time in 1/3 of an inch. Our displays do have the ability to work in 1/6 mode, 1/4, 806 mode, depending on what type of display it is, but 90% of the time we're going to work in 1/3 of an inch. We'll be able to change that down below. And then moving on to the memory locations, you can store 8 different calibration charts with alarms in the programmer. So the mem lock here is which memory location that you're in. The battery condition is the battery condition of the programmer itself. At the top you have 2 screws. You can take those out. This faceplate slides up and out, and at the back there's going to be 4 AA batteries which are field serviceable. A note on the battery condition. Here my battery condition is right around 50%. That is much lower than I normally have it. If it drops below 70, I usually go ahead and change the batteries out. And I use this thing quite often. I use it every day actually. With me using it every day, once a month I change the batteries in it. On the sides here, you'll see alarm 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the alarm settings that you can program into. They'll display out in this blank area in the middle here. Alarm 1's always going to be your high-level alarm. Alarm 2 is your audible horn. Alarm 3 is your rearm for alarm 1 and alarm 2. And alarm 4 is most commonly used for our multi-rack system. The alarm 4 value will equal the alarm 1 value for your high-level shutdown. When a multi-rack is not being used, you can use the purple wire of the 808P2 as alarm 4, which will sound a backup alarm or light up a light, whatever you want to do with it. Down at the bottom here, this is probably what we're going to be looking at the most when we use the programmer. The inch value, the offset, and the calibration. Now the offset is not something we want to be too concerned with, but the inch value is going to be directly linked to the calibration. The calibration is your unit of measure, your barrels, your gallons, your pints, just your unit of measure there. The inch value, it's good to note that the 810X cinder bars and all of our cinder bars, really, they transmit an inch value only. They have nothing to do with the calibration. So when we test a cinder bar, we're going to look at the inch value. When we want to know where the float is on the bar, we're looking for an inch value. We can use the calibration side to make sure we can run it up and down to make sure there's no blank spots or anything like that, or jumping numbers in the calibration. So that's a little description on the inches and the calibration. Just remember that they're always linked together. An inch value is directly linked to a calibration. Moving down to the buttons, what you'll see is the white letters or numbers is the primary function of each button. The red numbers or letters are the secondary function. If it's in red, you must hit the shift key down here at the bottom to access the red letter menus. And at the top here, we'll have the light button, which I'm going to go ahead and just turn it on there. You can see light come on and off. I'm going to leave it on. The red letter function for that is the C-Link. To access that C-Link menu, I'm going to first press and hold the shift key and select C-Link. As you can see, it says computer link on, back to exit. I'm going to hit back, get out of there. So the C-Link function is something that we will use later on to communicate with a laptop or a PC to use the truck gauge programmer software, which you can download at garnetinstruments.com. The bar button, if we want to know where the float is on the bar, we can select the bar button, and with the fiber plugged in, you'll get an inch value that pops up here. Since I don't have a bar plugged in, it just tells me no L for no light. The back button we've already discussed. It'll allow you to exit a menu. Over here we have the inch arrows and the offset arrows. The inches arrows are what we're going to use most of the time, and as you can see, if I select the inch arrow up, both the inch value and the calibration moves. What this indicates is it's simulating the float moving up and down on the bar. The offset arrows is how we adjust our offset. We're going to change the link between an inch value and the calibration. If I can demonstrate that there, you'll see that the calibration side moves, but the inch value stays the same. So when we set an offset to make the display read out an accurate barrel or gallon value, these are the arrows that we use there. The program and copy button, they're related together. The program button will take a calibration that's in the programmer and transmit it through the ribbon cable to the display. So we're programming the display. The copy button is taking the copy of the calibration that's in a display and pulling it into the programmer. Just a really important note there. Make sure you're pressing the right button, the button that you intended to press. I've done it before where I've hit program when I meant to hit copy, and I've lost that calibration. I've got to start all over again. The alarm shutdown button in white there. This is the button we're going to use to store alarms. One thing to note, the red letter secondary menu there is the startup function. We're not going to use the startup function. We will rarely ever use that. So when we store an alarm into shutdown, the calibration will show up here. The alarm setting will show up with the letters SD for shutdown beside it. So when we copy out a display, we want to make sure the alarms are stored in shutdown. We have our shift key here, which allows us to access the red letter menus. Our numerical keys here, our enter button, which will come in handy when we manually enter in a calibration. And then we have some red letter menus down here. And what we typically use this for is you can try to get close enough here. If we wanted to change our memory location, we can hit the shift key and the mem lock, which is also the decimal point, and it's going to ask us press 1 through 8 to select memory. So if we have different calibrations stored in different memory locations, we can access those there. Hit the back button to get away from there. We can also change the inch mode by again hitting the shift key and selecting inch mode, and it's going to ask us to select an inch mode. We want 1/3, so I'm going to select number 1, and again it's still in 1/3 inch mode. We also have clear memory, so if we wanted to clear a memory out, I can hit the shift key, clear memory, and it'll go through a cycle and clear the memory. As you can see, there's no calibration over there anymore. One thing I use quite often in testing is inch to memory. What this does is it takes and stores into the calibration side the inch values just to have a value over there. So I hit the shift key, inch to memory, and it's going to write the inch values over to the calibration side, and I can inch up and down and you can see those values there. And you can move it up and down. Memory label, it's not something I've ever used, but you can label the memory locations with a letter. In these here, I've never actually done that. I have a note down to let me know what I have in my memory locations there. But that is a general overview of the 817 programmer. Again, we're going to have future videos detailing out certain processes in order to store alarms, set offsets, and things like that. So for today, that's the 817 programmer. Kind of a general idea of how to use it, what the buttons do. If you have any questions, or if you want to see a particular video showing you how to do something, shoot me an email at pete@garnettechnologiesinc.com. You can also give me a call, 817-578-8601. Again, my email is pete@garnettechnologiesinc.com. If you guys need any information, have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I would be more than happy to help you out. As always, we always encourage, with a cell phone in hand, the programmer standing at the trailer, give us a call and we can walk you through pretty much anything. These videos, I hope, help give you an idea of how to, kind of the ins and outs of how to use it. It's a little more information than the shop manual might give. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and please keep a lookout for future videos. They're coming. So again, Thank you so much and have a good day.